So when I started doing this build, I was actually inspired by the new debug objects that you can do. I went and looked through them, and there were some really funny ones. Like one of them was a heart, which you'll see later in the video. I actually attempted to place, and it didn't work right. But anyways, with the new debug cheat thing, the unlocking they did for us, you have access to all these cool objects now, like a lot of kitchen objects, which would be great for, clutter and everything else. But, I decided I was gonna make, at first this was gonna be like a black market. I mean, it did kind of become a black market too. It just wasn't how I intended. I actually wanted it to have like the actual warehouse itself to be the black market, but then I decided, no, why don't I just make this look like an abandoned warehouse? And then I can, add a basement, which you'll see me do then, and put that where the black market part is. I also got a little carried away with the graffiti, as you see here. I wanted to not use any custom content, so I mean, if I did, that's my bad. I originally also, as you saw, I placed one of those place markers for the graffiti. Yeah, I deleted it because it didn't make any sense. And also, see, I got a little cobweb and crack happy, and not the way you might think of me being crack happy, haha. I wanted to make it look run down. I'm still not the best at building, but it was kind of fun. It was a quick project. It took me about an hour to do, and it was pretty interesting. So I built this lot in Newcrest, and honestly, I think it probably would have been better in Forgotten Hollow, but I also didn't want to use one of the large lots because I didn't want to make a huge warehouse. I just wanted something small and compact, especially since I added a second layer to it. I mean, honestly, that's part of the reason why I ended up deleting some of the floor right there, because there was too much space for me to be using. But, one part I liked about this was the little hidden stairway I did in order to go down in the basement with the bookshelf. I at first forgot that we had this object, and I love it. Because, who's gonna suspect a bookshelf as a door? I mean, I guess the Sims actually would, they'll wriggle right down to it, but as a human, out in real life and stuff, you really wouldn't think that too much. Originally, I was actually gonna put a real door there until I remembered about the bookshelf, and I had intended on actually having the door underneath the staircase, and I'm actually glad about the bookshelf door anyways, because it's a little more, incognito. I don't know what word I'm trying to use here, but I'm sure you all know what I mean. This was the part I was having trouble with, trying to find a lot of clutter and everything. So I just grabbed anything that kind of looked weird, old, and I started going crazy with the crates here. As you can see, I ended up finding every crate I could, but I didn't want to have too much of one thing, and it's just, I had to move the light there. I mean, you don't need me to narrate what I'm doing, as you could see me doing that stuff. One thing that bugs me though is you can see the graffiti, and you can see some of the cracks and stuff like that when you go down layers or levels on my house, but I mean, what are you gonna do? There's only so much you can do with all that. The basement's where I had a lot of fun, since it was my black market area. I enjoyed building the little cells and everything, and each of them had their own bed and their toilet, and the bed and the toilet are both cheap, but the shower I used is a more expensive one because it looked more techy. But basically, you could use it. You could have, your victims in here and lock them in there and everything. Since I made this a retail lot, you could have your victims as potential customers and everything, lure them down in there, lock them in there. Yeah, very dark, but it's fun to, do something different. I just grabbed a bunch of the scientists and the medical, equipment and objects and everything I could, and I had to make a little store part. So I originally wanted to use that cooler display that you see right there, because like I said, I had seen that heart and everything, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a harvesting thing, I'm gonna sell the hearts and everything, be like an organ harvester. But it didn't place in it, and like later you'll see when I place the heart on the other shelf that I end up choosing, it doesn't actually work there either. It kind of just was like two little red circles, and I can't delete it, so it's stuck there for good. But since it wouldn't let me like place really anything other than like potion drinks and stuff like that, I deleted it and got the shelves, which I guess works better, even though I kind of like the cooler just because it, if you're selling things, you want them to stay fresh, but whatever. I mean, I guess they'd be pretty fresh considering your victims are right there. I figure, this part would be where people would come and visit and, see what they want, buy from who they want and everything. I ended up just using by debug in order to place objects for sale and everything. Now, if you'd actually place this object or this store in your game, you're gonna have to set the prices and everything. I'm honestly not sure how well it works because I haven't actually tested it, but I imagine since I know you can sell some of this stuff, like, you can make certain things and then you can sell them. You can basically make a store of any type in the game. I'm sure you can, sell all this stuff. And honestly, I was just looking at some of the debug stuff because it was so cool how much there is. Of course, I had to do alien things, even though that, doesn't really make much sense for what I'm doing here. But maybe I had an alien that was, a victim at one point and, they got killed off. And there's the remains. I just went through and I just found anything that might be bizarre to sell in there. You could always replace this stuff. I mean, as long as it lets you. I didn't try picking up any of this stuff. Yeah, you can also buy the mother from the Strangerville. Spoiler alert for anyone that didn't see that. Sorry about that if you didn't actually know about it, but it's been out for a while, so I'm hoping that most people that are watching this would know about the mother. But yeah, apparently you could buy her. There was a lot of interesting things you could buy, honestly, in here, but like I said, I only got the stuff that seemed more bizarre. Speaking of which, I put bizarre fruit up there too, so that will be interesting to see how it would go in my game. But this is actually my main save. Anyways, so I'm getting near the end of this build. When I did this, I actually completely forgot to add floor and wallpaper, so I apologize about that. I'm actually just realizing it now while I'm editing my video. But if you do want to download this, my username is Adandoned94 on the gallery. It's Abandoned Werehouse. There's no custom content in it, so you should be able to find it very easily. And I want to say thank you for watching. Goodbye.